Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. I used to have a podcast called Transparent Conversations, Elevated Exchanges. This is not their podcast. This is just me talking on this mic about how I see the country. How I see the country. The vision. How do I see the vision of the country working out? Is there a new vision to the country? Are we going into a new direction? We obviously are going in a new direction because that's why I'm here to talk about what's going on. And before I get started, first but rest in peace to Renee Good, Keith Porter, two people who most likely would not be dead if it weren't for the current policies of this administration. And that's where we are. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna play one video first, and I have a second video. But so basically, I think the premise of tonight, or what I want to talk about tonight, is no one's okay. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be for the long haul. I definitely used to want to believe and wanted to accept that there's going to be some bad things happening in the country, and there may be some violence, but I had no idea it could be to this level and to the point where it's just a constant drumbeat, a constant moving, like the momentum's there to just keep going, and this could turn into something very ugly for I don't know what reason. I don't know what the end game is for all this. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. So we know that. Let's accept this. Then we'll play. Sorry. Then we'll play a video. Let's accept this. Let's accept that this current regime, this administration, does not mean to do well or to do right by the average, like I said, by the majority of Americans. Let's say that. By the majority of Americans are not really are gonna come out on the best end with these current policies and practices, and definitely it's not gonna be well for people who are my complexion, people who legal status, not legal status, but their documented status doesn't meet their qualifications or their needs. So basically, the most of the country right now is against what's happening. Right, the polls are showing very much that ICE needs to stop because they don't have the support of the country. We don't understand. No one in the country understands what exactly is going on with ICE. How did an organization under the Department of Homeland Security, which is supposed to protect the homeland, get to the point where it can shoot a white lady in the middle of the street and then just lie about what happened? Everybody saw what happened, but they just said, no, that ain't what happened. She was a domestic terrorist. And then what is a domestic terrorist? I wish they would define that. Let's watch this video. Let me show y'all real quick by watching this video of a podcast that I like, to see where they at. And remember one time I did, before this, nobody remembers, but I did a show. I was doing a series of podcasts about how when Trump got first elected and everything was going back in 2025, about how we have a black celebrity problem, we have a reality TV problem, and was another one I can't remember. But anyway, you can see in this clip, right? Because I was saying that basically, if you were to watch most of the larger black podcasts that are out here that are not political, they're mostly comedy or lifestyle or hip hop. So they weren't talking about anything. I have water today. They weren't talking about anything that was going on with the Trump or Elon or the regime all of a sudden slowly becoming, because this is the anniversary, right? Yeah. So he took this is 1 year later. Officially 1 year later. And remember he came in and did all those executive orders, did those pardoned everyone from the Jan 6th insurrection, and a lot more pardons, and then the crazy executive orders, and one of the executive orders was to get rid of birthright citizenship, and they haven't ruled on that yet. So we're still waiting to see what the Supreme Court thinks about that one. It seems like it'll be an important one, but you know, they have their priorities. All right, I'm going to play this video, and I'll come back.
What's going on in Minneapolis, or what happened in Minneapolis? We should get right to it. Let's not wait, right?
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Let's go right to the freedom fighter section as well.
No, I mean, look, it's for everybody, man. You know, I honestly, with my travel, I didn't follow the story as closely as I wanted to. Obviously, I know that a woman was killed by ICE agents a couple days ago during these ICE raids, which it's still unclear why they were where they were. But it's very clear that this woman was killed by an ICE agent. And this woman was somebody who was actively trying to sort of coordinate efforts to resist ICE and to notify people about what was going on in the world, what was going on in Minneapolis. To me, it's just a bigger problem, which is these ICE raids are not only probably illegal, but definitely immoral and dangerous. And I'm frustrated to see it happening in Minnesota and anywhere in the world.
The propaganda that they put on television, the little songs they put in the background, the little montages they put together, it's just too aggressive. It's too much like emotion and like go get them, fuck them up type of vibe.
Yep.
I'm curious what type of speech do they get before they go out? Like go kill them, shoot to kill or whatever. This is a woman. And I believe from what I read that he gave her a command. She didn't follow it at first, but then she starts to resist, and that's when he shoots her in the face. I also read that recently he was dragged by somebody, a protester or somebody, a couple blocks. So this nigga probably itchy.
He was already turned up.
It's a, you know what I mean? It's a lose for a lose because it.
I'm gonna pause it right there for a second and just say that you see that even though the news is starting to poke through onto the podcast to our one of our most popular podcasts, but you can see it's poking through. But this is days ago. Everyone knows what's happened or how they were actually killed, so they hadn't been actually paying close attention to what's happening. But they are noticing now at this point that that something may be going on. I hope everything's all right. Okay, so we'll go ahead and consume. Basically their information. Some of the information was a little bit off.
He's already in this little aggressive ass position. You know what I mean? They got license to kill. That's what it seems like to me. As a black person, the police have license to kill. Why wouldn't ICE have license to kill?
Facts.
And he got dragged.
Right.
He was dragged, Joey, by a civilian recently.
But that's the job.
That's your job.
That is the job, but I'm just saying that nigga was popping the next person that played with him.
You're 100% right. No, you're 100% right.
It's a girl in her face. That's
which means that you don't have the proper mental fortitude to handle the job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't handle yourself, or if you treating this new situation based on the last situation, you might shouldn't be there.
And we're talking about Renee Nicole Good's execution in Minneapolis. An American citizen,
mother of three.
Yeah, mother of three, a wife murdered in front of her wife, who has the dog. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Bro.
It's all on camera. There's a lot of civilian footage.
Tons.
Yeah.
All different angles.
Fucking
all
horrifying.
of that stuff. It's crazy. What really is upsetting to me
37 years old.
Yeah.
They're claiming that she was weaponizing the car to try to hit the ICE agent. It didn't look like that to me.
Didn't.
She was pulling off. She was waving people past and pulling out slowly.
Bro, she let 3 or 4 cars go by her before she even went to pull off.
Yeah.
As she goes to pull off, they ran to her door from both sides. And this is the thing that people not understanding. Like, dog, y'all, the ICE people are masked.
Yeah,
I saw one last week. They were dragging a pregnant lady, a Hispanic lady. She was pregnant, bro. They were dragging her on her back across the street. And nobody could be held accountable because you can't even use the facial recognition or any of that shit to identify them.
Yeah, I don't think law enforcement.
Right there. Just want to say, like, you see how it's actually what's happening is starting to actually poke through. More people are taking notice, but they don't seem to care. So basically, you can see that they weren't they weren't quite up on the information as it's changed, because she definitely was pulling away. But you see how everybody seemed to understand what they saw from Nicole Good was killed. Everyone seems to agree with it except the authorities, the federal authorities. For some reason they think that I don't even know what they think anymore. They just sticking to their story. This is what I'm saying. These are very good people, very good corporate people. Very, this is the bag. They gonna keep doing what they got to do to get that bag. And with that, I think I just wanted to just say at this point, like on Saturday when I woke up, after just seeing everything that happened during the week, and then just starting to actually see how violent ICE can be, and that there is no accountability for what they're doing. From what we see, it seems to me, what I've seen from videos that I've seen of people in the area, it doesn't seem like the people are rioting in a way or protesting in a way to what's the thing? To warrant such aggressive tactics from the Customs Border Patrol, which I don't know why they're in Minnesota, and the ICE agents. All I've seen, because if you go into a street, right? Because you look at where they're at, right? Where Renee Good, where she was shot, and then where the people were gassed. This is pretty much just a neighborhood, right? This is an urban neighborhood, same kind of neighborhood I live in. To me to be thinking like all of a sudden there's tear gas being thrown and flashbangs and paintballs and there's like mace. And then there's a chemical nerve agent. I forget what it's called. I need to do some research on that. To me, to see all that. And I have to wonder what is going on. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that what's happening is actually warranting. It's actually should be going on. There shouldn't be a response like that from ICE or CBP. Now, border protection. Yeah. So, but then to find out that they believe they have immunity, right? Because they're being told they have immunity, and then to see how that immunity works, because the person that shot Nicole Good is still free. He's still free. There's no indictment. The federal government is gone. That's what you understand. The federal government is gone, and that's why I think when I woke up Saturday, I was just like so beside myself and couldn't understand why I felt the way I was feeling. But I'm like, the government is gone. There's just based on what we know of the Constitution and all these things, the way the executive branch, and there's no way to get ICE to stop, because basically they only believe in the power of might. Then you can make them stop, but if you can't make them stop, they're not gonna stop, right? And that goes for the military too. If they get started, you're not gonna make them stop until they decide to stop or accept the orders from someone who could tell them to stop. And that person is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, we're actually sitting here and literally we're hostage. We're hostage on this ride. I've said, I know people saying you can we have the right to protest and all that kind of stuff, and we could change it. But the system is set up in a certain way. And that's frustrating. You know what? I will say this. Let me say this. This whole event. Remember, I don't know if I talked about it. I talked about it before. How I didn't, reading comments. Reading comments and on social media. It wasn't good for me. It's not good for you. And then responding to comments, because you don't know who you're responding to. You don't know if they're real or a bot or a foreign agent. You just don't know. But they want to definitely affect the way you feel. And then after Saturday, and just really feeling just very anxious about everything that's happening, and actually seeing that there's no one that has an answer. There's no one who can make the ICE stop. Only somebody with bigger guns. And the Republicans want to impeach Kristi Noem. They want to impeach. But it doesn't matter as long as this is the Republican agenda. I don't know how they got to this point, but they definitely, this is them. I've been saying all along, I don't trust them, and I can't. Republicans is crazy, because this is what we're doing right now. They have a real control problem, and it's all centered around fear. You know what I'm saying? You fear what you can't control. That's basically what I think it is. It's just fear for think they can't control. And I'm gonna tell you like this: I know for a fact that black people just want to be left alone. That's it. We'll be able to make our money, take care of our families, be left alone. That's it. Y'all ain't gotta talk to us. We gotta work with them after work. So, you know, I just think, I don't know. We're open to friendship, but we definitely could do without you too. You know what I mean? Because we got each other. That's something. That's something. That really is something. All right. So, so what I'm gonna say? So, yeah. So yeah, what's different this time than the first time is the violence. Yeah, it's the violence, and then him being surrounded by sycophants and people who I always say that, like I said in my last podcast, they don't really want the Constitution. They want the Constitution changed to fit their needs. Their vision of America has changed. It is not our vision of America, right? It's not the vision that we grew up with. You know what I'm saying? That's what brought about. And this was the funny thing about this is they've been working on this since the 70s, and it came up all the way up to the 2000s. Like, they decided back in the 70s, it wasn't that good for us then. You know what I mean? Like, they just been sitting here getting madder and madder and madder right up to now. They created the Heritage Foundation, the Federalist Society, just to get here to try to lock us all up and pull us out of the country. And they worked a long time. Now, what was so bad in the 70s? And it's gotten to a point now that they have to do this. I don't know the answers. I'm not gonna listen to. I can't listen to right wing podcasts or media. It's repulsive. The problem I have with right wing media is that they don't really believe in facts. They don't really believe. You know what I'm saying? They believe in conspiracy, not facts. So you know what I'm saying? Like, if I see something that's happening, like I saw the east wing of the White House get torn down. I saw it on TV. I haven't been down there, but I saw the building get torn down. I saw the scooping it up, and now they're doing something else. They're not supposed to be doing anything, but I saw that, right? There's no conspiracy. You couldn't tell me. No. I saw that happen, right? I agree with you that yeah, he definitely did. He definitely tore down the East Wing. Now they're talking about it's a data center down here. There's a bunker down there. I don't care. I'm not going to speculate because it doesn't have anything to do with the narrative at this point. Like, of course, I believe that there's stuff underground. I've been underground, not at the White House. I used to work at the Treasury Annex in the Treasury building right next to the White House. I know there's tunnels down there, and I used to walk through the tunnels, but you can't go everywhere. There's places you cannot go, right? I guess that was going towards the White House. So there are tunnels down there. Everyone know that. And so is there a bunker down there or data center down there? Underground data center is interesting because it's got to be cold. Maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe, I haven't heard anyone building data centers underground. I've heard underwater, in space. But it's not sustainable. That's my favorite word to use. Oh, let me tell you. I'm gonna show you this video about why I think this is different. It could overwhelm us if we let it. I think for me, I've decided. I stopped reading comments. You know what I mean? Like, because there's no use anymore. There's not a debate, right? There's no debate. Like, if somebody supports what they see happening in Minneapolis, there's no debate. Right? You are an evil person. You know what I mean? Like, you are evil, dumb, sheltered, uncritical, not non-critically thinking person. You are not somebody who I want to continue to talk with, right? Because you're on the wrong side of history. You chose fascism. You can't unchoose it. You chose fascism. When it came down to it, you decided that authoritarian telling me lies and not doing what I need done is the way to go. As long as they're putting violence on someone, I'm good. So I can't really debate with someone who believes violence over everything, retribution over everything. It doesn't work that way. It's unsustainable. We can't sustain it. We cannot go forward with this. So I'm going to play a little bit of this news story just to I want to put a temp right here in the video or on this timeline to show you or remind me even of what's actually going on in Philadelphia, because they're under attack. They're occupied. You hear the lies coming from the White House is from Stephen Miller has told the police, the Minneapolis police, to stand down. They're taking care of all law enforcement. I saw now there was a video today from the police chief somewhere there in Minnesota, saying that ICE is attacking, or ICE is coming to check on police, off-duty police. The off-duty police are being harassed by ICE. No anybody can get it, right? There's no, and I think that's what's going on with the whites is they're not used to this. They didn't think it would happen. I felt for this woman when she got shot, but you know what I'm saying. I also felt for Tamir Rice when he got shot. I also felt for from the Castile, something his name. I forgot his name. Breonna Taylor. Trayvon Martin. I felt for them too when they were just shot. So, welcome to the club. You know what I'm saying? That you see police doing shooting unarmed people and getting away with it. I know we've been saying that. I've been saying it like it's gonna get worse. You can't give anybody this much freedom or authority over you. You know what I mean? You can't let them get away with it, because all they're gonna do is keep doing it. I know that's one thing. One thing I used to say when we were trying to figure out how to do relationships is basically you teach people how to treat you, right? If you keep letting them get away with slapping you across the face, guess what? They're gonna keep slapping you across the face. But if you stop that hand one time, you might be good. By punching the gut. But you got no aggression. There should be no aggression. And for some reason in this country now, they're in full. We know it's Proud Boys and all that kind of stuff. It was these militias always saying it's going to be a race war, and they because they knew they were going to do this. They knew that when they got the chance to do this was going to happen. So they're starting their race war that we don't even want to be in. Just want to be left alone. Did I play the video? Nah, I'm gonna play it right now. So this is just a news report from I think Minneapolis, maybe. About what's going on.
You know that with all of the chaos surrounding ICE, a story has to be particularly shocking to stand out in this media environment. And yet, this one is. I'm going to put photos from Reuters on the screen.
Actually, I'm going to stop. This is Brian Cohen, YouTube channel. All the information for videos, credit for videos will be in the show notes. This guy, he does a lot of talking on his own YouTube channel, and he's on other YouTube channels like The Bulwark, Crooked Media, things like that. So he's very, he's a liberal. He's very energetic, and but he's gonna be talking about what's happening in Minneapolis right now, this week, and there's no way to stop it.
ICE taking an elderly man out of his house, not even allowing him to put on a shirt into the freezing cold in St. Paul, Minnesota, and he shouldn't have been arrested in the first place.
Now this is actually, now look at the neighborhood. It's a neighborhood. It's not the city. It's a neighborhood. So anyway, they went and took this elderly man, out of his house in a bathrobe, and he had like slippers on. They were like the kind of slippers that look like some of them Yeezy things. Yeah, but he wasn't warm. And he wasn't even he was an American citizen. You'll hear about this. But this was done to a naturalized American citizen.
How much of a fucking asshole can you be?
Now this is what I'm talking about. Y'all antagonizing people. Y'all instigating shit. Y'all bogus as hell.
The post reads, ICE came to my brother-in-law Sally's apartment, broke down the door, trashed the place, handcuffed him, put a gun to his daughter-in-law's head. They did not allow him to put on proper clothing and forced him outside in freezing weather. Sally is a naturalized U.S. citizen. He has no criminal record. ICE drove him around for nearly an hour, questioned him, fingerprinted him. Only after all of that did they realize he had no criminal history and no reason to be detained. They then dropped him off back at his apartment like nothing happened. We believe they were looking for someone who previously lived there, but instead of asking for identification, they chose violence, intimidation, and humiliation. Now, recognizing how bad all of this looked, Tricia McLaughlin, the Assistant Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security, took to Twitter, writing, "Yesterday in St. Paul, ICE conducted a targeted operation of 2 convicted sex offenders. One of the criminal targets had convictions for sex with a minor and sexual assault. The other target had convictions for sexual assault with penetration in the first degree, domestic violence, and violating a protective order. Both also have convictions for failure to register as sex offenders. They both have final orders of removal from an immigration judge. The U.S. citizen lives with these 2 convicted sex offenders at the site of the operation. The individual refused to be fingerprinted or facially ID'd. He matched the description of the targets. As with any law enforcement agency, it is standard protocol to hold all individuals in a house of an operation for safety of the public and law enforcement. Both of these sexual predators remain at large in St. Paul. We'll be providing the public with photos and descriptions to help us locate and apprehend these public safety threats." Which seems compelling if it was true, which of course you'll be shocked to learn it's not. The family released a statement saying, quote, "The family of Chongli Scott Thao categorically disputes the Department of Homeland Security's public statement regarding the ICE operation conducted on January 8th, 2026 in St. Paul, Minnesota. Mr. Thao is a United States citizen with no criminal record. He does not live with, nor has he ever lived with, the individuals DHS claims were targets of this operation. The only people residing at the home are Mr. Thao, his son, his daughter-in-law, and his young grandson. They do not know the individuals DHS references. ICE agents did not present a warrant, did not ask for identification."
I'm gonna stop it there. So you see the story, right? They took an old man out of his house. They wasn't even supposed to be there. The people that they tried to lie and say lived there never lived there. They went in the man's house. They probably, I don't know if they had a judicial, we don't know if they had a judicial warrant. We got to know all this stuff. Did you have a judicial warrant or an administrative warrant? Or did you have a warrant at all? Right? They went up, I don't know, did they knock on it? They knocked the door in. Did they knock on the door and let the man open the door? Held a gun to his daughter's head. There's no recourse. There's nothing you could do. They just did it. Why did they drive him around in a car? If they didn't ask him for his ID. They didn't ask him for his ID. He was a citizen. That's what I'm saying. They have taken over Philadelphia, and they've used up their money. They want more money. Democrats, looks like the Democrats are gonna cave in and give them more money. So no one cares about what happens to United States citizens right now. You're basically on your own. There's nothing. I don't know what we could do. And that's no reason I got off the comments, because I'm like, I can't argue with the person that's arguing for it, because it's not right. You know what I'm saying? It's not right. It's not in the Constitution. It's constitutionally not right. And there's a remedy, but the people who can apply the remedy or give us the remedy won't. So we're out here open to a group of armed men, and they can do whatever they want to do because they've been told that. Up to this point, I was like, okay, I see the way to get out, but I'm like, we've already heard today that they're hanging around campaign stops or campaign functions of people that are getting ready, because the primaries are going to come up, because we have a big term this year. They're just buzzing around there, not going to the front, just making sure they harass the people around in the neighborhood where they're having the rally for a Democratic candidate. You know what I'm saying? Is that going to be the play all during that time? All I say, as far as it goes, I vote by mail. I think everybody here votes by mail, and I think they take theirs in early too. But the moment I get my ballot, date, sign in, it's gone. That's it. Cause and I track it, when they receive it and when they count it, just to make sure that my vote counts. Because it's important. If you want to stop this, For right now, it's all we have is the midterms, and things could change every day. The man is definitely demented. He's not. I don't think he's fully in control. I don't think so. I think he just has. He put together the right cabinet of ghouls and goons who all have master plans on how they think the America should work, and they're doing their best to imprint their vision on America. All right, that's it for tonight. I'm gonna go to sleep, man. How y'all doing? It's best to get some sleep. I just got out the comments. I feel much better now. Sometimes I slip, but I don't think I'm reading them as much. But it's getting better. It's getting better. All right, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. That's what they say, right? All right, I'll see you next time. Peace out.